If you are in your 30s and you're feeling overwhelmed and feeling lost, like you don't know what the is going on, don't worry, sis, me too. But today we are going to be talking about how to conquer life in our 30s. Let's go. I literally turned 30 in the middle of the pandemic. Not even in the middle, right in the beginning. Like my 30th birthday party and trip got canceled because COVID hit. I mean, so I feel like I've been kind of playing catch up when it comes to this living in your 30s life, because before I turned 30, I was actually afraid of turning 30. I believed society when they said that your life was going to be over and it was all going to go downhill and you had to hurry up and do all these things. By the time you were 30, you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to have the man, you're supposed to have the house. I had the man, but everything else, it was kind of like, baby, what is we doing? I still don't have children, okay? I just got married at 33. I still don't have a home. Don't even know if that's actually going to ever happen. So, you know, it is what it is. We here, we kicking in, we vibing. However, if you are feeling like you are in the middle of an existential crisis, don't worry, sis, relax. To get it all the way together, okay? These are some of the things that have been helping me to overcome, okay? So the first thing is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the life that you thought you were going to live, or the life that you thought you were supposed to be living when you got to your 30s and your 20s. Like, you know, when you're like 24, 25, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have this, my career is gonna look like this, I'm gonna have this. And then you get here and it doesn't look like that, and you're feeling like left behind, and you're on social media and you see all these young 20 to 25-year-olds and they're living this life, and it's like, what the hell did I do wrong? It's okay. It is all right, okay? It is okay if your life does not look the way that you thought it was going to live. We have to give ourselves grace. I just graduated out of foster care at the age of 24. For me to think that I was going to have all of these things by the age of 30 was crazy, because I was homeless at the age of 27 and I didn't get my life together until I was 28, 29 years old. So I'm just now getting the ball rolling in my 30s, okay? And I love it here. And so it's a part of the journey. And so wherever you are at in that journey, you have to give yourself grace for the woman that you were and the woman that you're becoming. You have to grieve that, right? Go through that grief process, whatever that looks like. If you had children, if you don't have children, if you won't be able to have children, you have to forgive yourself. I honestly would suggest something that I did was to write a letter to yourself. Write a letter to your younger self, and write a letter to your future self, and write a letter to yourself now, and just give yourself gratitude and praise, and tell yourself sorry. Tell yourself that you love her, okay? Tell your younger self that you love her. Tell your future self that you coming for her, okay? And just visualize what that looks like, and still stay positive, even if it doesn't look the way that you thought it was going to look right now. One thing I'm really big on is visualization. I honestly have the life that I said that I was going to have, but it didn't happen when I thought that it was going to happen. I said that I was going to have all these things probably like 26 years old, and it didn't happen the next year, but now I have it. And it's like, wait, I'm going through my old journals and I'm going through like my old diaries and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. This idea that I'm bringing to life right now is one that God gave to me years ago. This is something that I wanted to do a long time ago. And now I have the stability and security and opportunity to be able to do it. And so even if life doesn't look the way that you want it to today, don't give up on tomorrow. What Glorilla say? Yeah, that's why I love tomorrow. Like, yeah, tomorrow is going to come and we have another opportunity, okay? Thing that I love to tell people is that my oldest friend is 75 years old. Baby has lived life and she's still living it. She be out here doing her thing, okay? I love hanging with her, talking to her, learning from her, and it lets me know that we still have time. Like, I love kicking it with my nana. And that actually leads me in to tip number 2 is to get you some older friends. Start hanging around people who got more age than you, who got more skin in the game. You know, like, I love sitting on the phone with my grandma. I love hanging around women who are 60, 70, 80 years old, learning from them, seeing that not. Life doesn't stop when we think that it does. It's not over. Like, you still have the opportunity to start businesses, go to school, travel, fall in love. Like, you still have the opportunity to do all these things as long as you have breath in your body. And so by taking care of yourself to make sure that you still have breath in your body, that is going to help you to get to that point. So stressing about today and tomorrow is not going to help us as much. And that's one thing that I've been learning lately, is to just go with the flow, let it go, and just let it be, let it happen. Put it out of your hands. Stop trying to control it, and just be. Hang around your old girlfriends, kiki with them. I'm telling y'all, I be cracking up with my grandma. That is my girl. Okay, so get you some older friends, child. They will help you to be steered in the right direction. My business coach right now is a 65-year-old woman who has been an entrepreneur for years, and she's letting me know, like, girl, this ain't nothing. You could get this done in a year or two. And I'm like, oh snap. Here I am stressing, but she's already done it. She already knows what it looks like. So it's okay to have friends who are your age, who are into the same things that you're into. But if you are trying to get to that next level, you need to get you some next level friends. And a lot of times those next level friends are not in the same age ranks as you. So get you some older friends, child. Tip number 3 is something that I started doing last year, and it has been a little bit challenging for me, I won't lie, and that's delegating tasks and stop trying to do everything on your own. I don't want to say I'm a control freak, but I will say that I do have a hard time letting go of things. Like, I just want to do everything by myself. And I have been learning that it is okay to let somebody else help you and do things for you. Just tell them how to do it, and if they don't do it right, that's okay. It's a learning process and a learning curve, but stop trying to be a strong Black woman. Stop just trying to be everything all on your own, right? Like, we are not supposed to be the end all be all. And I think especially as brown and Black women, we have that tendency, just because that's how it is in our cultures, just to handle everything. But there is really something to this soft girl life I ain't never heard. I was not introduced to this theory, thank you TikTok, until I got to my 30s, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I want to live like that. Like, I didn't know that there was an other side to this, and I love it here. Like, especially when you have people around you who are willing to take some of that off of your back and off of your shoulders, especially if you're in a relationship. I know for me, it was hard for me to let my man just be a man and let him do all the things that he can and should be doing. It's like, oh no, I got it. Because in the back and front of our minds a lot of times is, I could just do it myself. I don't care. I'm an independent woman. I got this. But we don't necessarily have to be like that. Let that man do them things, okay? Let that man take some of that stress off of you. Let some of your friends take some things off of you. Let your kids take some things off of you. Delegate tasks. If you're a businesswoman, if you're a mother, if you're a wife, delegate tasks. And if you don't have a partner, you don't have children, delegate tasks by outsourcing, getting a housekeeper, getting a nanny if you need one, trying to find different resources that will help you. I don't remember the last time I did laundry, because I have a laundry service, and I think we started using a laundry service 2 years ago. They we drop it off, they wash it, dry it, and fold it. We just bring it home and put it in our closets, and we're done. And that alleviates so much stress. My house isn't as cluttered. It's not as messy as it could be, because we don't have laundry everywhere, because I'm not trying to spend my weekends washing and folding and doing all those things. Delegate some tasks. You know, try to budget some of those things into your month if you can. I know for us, our laundry service is $60 per time we go. And so it's like, all right, I know that I ain't trying to be washing this laundry. So I'm going to make sure that I have the money that I need to be able to afford this service. Delegate some tasks, honey. I will call somebody so quick and ask them now, hey, can you do this for me? I am a delicate woman and I need help. Okay, so yeah. step into your soft girl era and yeah, ask for help, child. Now, tip number 4. I think that this kind of came easy to me once I got to my 30s. It became easier, and that's people's opinions don't really matter, so stop acting like they do. I have been, and still am a little bit, a people pleaser. And that just came from my history. I spent a lot of time in foster care and just wanting to be included, wanted to be a part, wanted to fit in, wanted everybody to like me. And now I'm like, girl, I do not care if you like me or not. I like me. My man like me. I got friends. And, you know, it is okay to not fit in everywhere. And to be honest, everybody's not going to like your opinions. They're not going to like the way you live your life. They're not going to like the decisions that you make. I remember when I left home, ooh, child, when I tell you, people was upset. Who do you think you are? And how you just going to leave home by yourself and do... Like, you got to live this one life for you. It's like, especially when you know, come from a big family or if you have children, people are going to have their opinions about stuff. But you cannot hold those opinions and make them Bible. Like, you can't, because you won't live your life if you do it that way. Like, you have got to go and do the things that you have deep down inside of you, the things that you want to do and things that you need to do. You got to just go ahead and do them. Leave home, leave that job, do what it is that you need to do regardless of what anybody got to say about it. There are some times where, you know, people's opinions do matter. Like, if you trust those people, but just take that with a grain of salt. I know that for me, I had the tendency of like going around to different people and asking everybody's opinion on something and needing that validation from a whole bunch of different people. And then when I went through my spiritual detox, my spiritual health coach was like, you don't need external validation. Learn to trust yourself. And when I started learning to trust myself and learning to trust my intuition and the spirit inside of me, oh my goodness, how my life changed. And that was just earlier this year. And now I'm like, wait, I have the answers. All I have to do is sit with myself, pray about it, and stop going to everybody else trying to get feedback and insight, because people are going to tell you what they think is best, right? They're going to tell you, they're going to draw from their own life experiences to tell you what you should and should not do. And if you don't do what it is that they tell you you should do, they're probably going to be upset. So you can eliminate having those tips in your relationships by just trusting yourself and just doing what it is that you want to do. I will say that the audacity and the gall that people have, especially now lately, the opinions are crazy. They're out of this world. The unsolicited advice and opinions that you get from people on the internet, that you get from your family and friends. It's like, wait, I didn't even ask you all that, you know? So it's just like, people's opinions really don't matter that much. Only just maybe a little bit. But that's if you determine that they do. So if you're sensitive like me, just know that it's gonna be all right. Don't take it too harshly. And then my last tip for conquering your 30s, because if you didn't do this in your 20s, you need to do it now, and that's becoming financially intuitive. I was making some crazy financial decisions in my 20s, okay? I don't know what I was thinking. And so now I'm having to undo all of the bad decisions that I made. And I wasn't by far the worst ever. I was trying to survive, and I was trying to get my life together for the most part, but definitely not in like a horrible situation, but definitely could have been doing a lot better. Like becoming financially intuitive in a way of knowing where you're spending your money, knowing how you're spending your money, knowing how to save your money. That's one thing that I'm really good at, is saving, but I tend to save a little bit too much. And with me trying to oversave because I'm afraid to spend, it made me afraid to pour into myself and to invest in myself. And so while I did make some poor financial decisions in my 20s, like my car, credit cards, like those were some horrible financial decisions. Okay, now that my car is paid off and I'm working on getting rid of my credit card debt, it's just making sure that you are aware of how money is supposed to work, being financially intuitive, getting a financial coach, talking to the bank, getting a credit union, diversifying your income. Like, you just have to really get serious about your money right now. There's a lot of different ways to make money, and there's a whole lot of different ways to spend it. And we have to be careful and mindful about what that looks like, because we don't know if we're going to get Social Security when we're older. So yeah, that is something to think about. I really want to start getting into like investing and things like that. I'm not there yet, but we're getting there. I do have like an IRA and like a 401k and things like that. So, but I don't really know what none of it means. I don't know how to work any of it. So it's like, these are the type of things that we can and should be working on in our 30s if you didn't have the opportunity to in your 20s. And if you have 401ks that you had in your 20s, make sure that you roll them over into a new 401k, because I have 401ks that I forgot about, and I actually had to like get the money from those accounts. Crazy. Anyway, and so a bonus tip that I want to throw out there for the girlies who are dating and single and swear that there's no good men out here alive, right? There are some good men. You just got to expand your horizons. You might want to look at going to a different state or place to see how the men there are. Maybe you might find a boo. Maybe you might find your husband. My husband was in Alabama. How was I going to find my husband in Alabama living in Pittsburgh, PA? I had to move to North Carolina, and now I got my best friend and the love of my life. So if you are single and dating, I heard that the dating pool got piss in it, okay? And I'm sorry to hear that. But there are a few things that I think could help. And I think that if we were very intentional about the things that we wanted and didn't settle on those things, a lot of times we'll date somebody and they seem like what it is they want, but they're giving you a whole bunch of red flags, right? A whole bunch of red flags, and you bypass them because you think that things will get better. They're not going to get better, okay? Stop doing it to yourself. Be intentional about how you're dating and who you're dating. Make a list of everything that you want that person to be. I will say that if you're dating someone who's closer to your age in your 30s, that you do need to give some room for them to figure it out, because we're still figuring it out. And I think that it's unrealistic of us to have super high expectations of people who are just trying to figure it out just like we are. Like, my husband is not the man that I first started dating. And so by allowing that room to grow, he has grown into an amazing man. And so if you are single and dating, there's an amazing man out there for you too. You just gotta allow him into your heart. Stop being so mean. Open your heart and your mind to find in the love of your life, or maybe just a date. You know, when you're going on these dates, don't be afraid to ask questions. Make sure that you are inquiring. Don't be scared to ask these men the things, okay? Don't waste your time if they're not worth it. Like, cut them off when you know that it's time, like, this ain't gonna work. Nice getting to know you, but it's over. It's time to move on. So that was my last tip, guys. We are going to crush this shit. All right, 30s ain't got nothing on us. We're gonna be 30 and thriving, all right? Because I heard that 40s is beautiful too. But for right now, we are going to love the space that we're in. We're gonna love ourselves as we are, and we're going to become a greater version of ourselves, because 20 was fun, 20 was exciting, right? But now it's time to stand on business and get real about what we want our lives to look like, right? So if you are on this journey with me, I love y'all, okay? Thank you for tuning in and spending this time with me. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe now, since it become a part of the community. I love chatting with y'all. If you enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.